Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're back on the silage grind again. So we have this field to do. I think it's about, I'd say about 8 acres this field. I'm back on the 584 and the rake, doing a bit of raking. So I have this field that I'm in now, this field here, to do, and which I, just looking at it now, obviously the camera isn't the same as if you were seeing it in person, but I when I'm doing fields, I gauge it from our silage field, the Fair Hill, which is 10 acres, and looking at this, it's nearly the same size as it, but it's just that little bit smaller, so I'm guessing it's around 7 or 8 acres. So I have this field to do now, and I have another field to do as well, which I think is about the same, another 8 acres-ish. So, what time is it now? It is 11:20. I landed down at the old contractor's farmyard, made sure the tractor was full of diesel, make sure I had engine oil in it, make sure I had back end oil in it, made sure the rake here was greased, just make sure every single thing, the rake and the tractor, was ready to go for today. So I have to rake this field now, and then I have to go for a while, and then I'll be coming back and I'll be raking the next field. And then the brother is at work, he's at work, so he won't be here until about 7 o'clock-ish, baling. And once he's baling, I'll have the 398 and I'll be drawing with the old contractor. But he won't be getting the 2 fields done today. I'm raking 2 fields today. The brother will only get this field done this evening, and then maybe tomorrow or the following day he'll get the next field done. But yeah, as long as I can get the whole field, the 2 fields raked, it should be fairly okay. And looking at the crop of grass that's in it, it's a fairly good crop. So when I'm raking it, I'll probably take 3 swarts, or not 3 but 2. We were at Silage there last night or yesterday evening, as I'm recording this video. We were at the buck that we've done the 60 acres for. He had another 10 acres or so to do, so we got him out of the way last night. It was sort of a poor crop. It wasn't just one big field, it was just like 3 or 4 sort of small fields, but that all added up to around 8 or 10 acres. So it was a very light crop for him. But looking at this, yeah, it's a heavy crop, nice crop. Because as always, I do consult with the baler man, the brother, before I go raking. And yesterday he said to take the 3 and keep taking 3 for the whole lot, and that's what I done. But for today, I think I'll be taking, as always, I'll be taking 2.5 to 3 swarts to do the headland, so I'm keeping out from the side of the ditch, or I'm keeping out from drains, or I'm keeping out from fencing and all that. But once I get the first headland done, and I'm doing the second headland and the third headland and the ups and downs, I'll be taking 2 swarts, because this is a nice heavy crop. So we have a quick look at it. We'll have a look at it again maybe if I remember. There's a lot of docks and stuff in it. There's a small bit of moisture in it, but that's not too bad. It's promised a small bit of rain at around 12 or 1 o'clock today. And when I mean small, I mean a small drop of rain. It's not going to do this grass much harm. Now, tomorrow, Friday, when we're going baling the other field, unless we leave it to Saturday, I don't know. But it's Friday during the day, it's promised wet. It's supposed to clear up then in the evening. And I know a lot of people would say, well, if you're going baling this field, obviously rake this field and then leave the other field until the day you're going baling it. A lot of different people would have different sort of ideas or suggestions when it comes to something like that. The brother said to rake it anyways, and when the swards are in there raked, they tend to hold less moisture. Even if it does rain, it will hold less because it's all bulked up together. And other people would say, well, leave it as it is, and when you're going raking it, when you have the rake on and it's turning around very fast, the fingers on the rake would, when it impacts the grass, it'll sort of whack out any of the water that was lying into it, and that's also true as well. The rake will whack some water out of the swards when you're raking it, but also when the swards are raked up, the raked swards don't tend to hold as much water if it does rain compared to these here. So yeah, but we baled this field last year. I also raked it last year. There's probably a video of it last year on the channel. So yeah. Anyways, I'll get this rake unfolded. I'm looking around to see, can I plot the camera down on like a fence post or a gate post or somewhere to do like a time lapse. There's not many places in this field. There will be in the next field unless there's something along down there. But we'll try and get a couple of different angles of raking in today's video. And again, we'll also try and get some footage of baling as well. Because these two fields, this field that we're doing now is a contracting job. We're doing this for another farmer. The next field that I'm going to be raking and the brother will be baling, the second field, that's for our old contractor. But it's a long draw. Now this field isn't too far away from the farmer that we're doing it for, but it's still, you're going down back roads, narrow back roads. It's still going to be a fairly hefty draw. But the more harder one to draw is going to be our old contractor's field. That's going to be a long draw. If you remember last year's video, we had the 398 and the 7-foot tractor trailer with 5 bales on it, which wasn't too steady or safe, I'm going to be honest with you. But that's the field that's the second field I'm going raking, and that's the second field the brother is going baling. So yeah, anyways, I've been rambling on a bit too long here, so I'm going to unfold the rake, get the first headland done, and we'll take it from there then, I guess. Alright, the field is raked, as you can see. Now, in this patch here, it was a very light crop, I could have taken 3 in this patch, which I did later on, but I started taking 2 for maybe a line or 2, and then I realised it's a bit light. I could possibly take 3. So for the last couple of ups and downs in this section here, I took 3 swords, but the rest of it it's fairly was 2. The rest of them was 2. There was I think up along there at the gateway, as per usual, as you'd be expecting. It was sort of light along a bit from the gate, but that's what you'd be expecting. It's not going to be as big of a yield near the gate as there would be down further and in the middle of the field. But yeah, everything seems to be going well. The rake is raking fairly good. It's just whether the camera is picking up or not. That section there just in front of you is a hill, and when I was doing that section up above on the hill, going up the hill, you could hear the engine on the 584 dying down, and when that's dying down, the PTO is dying down, and when the PTO is dying down, the rake is dying down as well. So it's not spinning as fast, and it's not as powerful as Strawn then when it's trying to rake the grass. So there was a few moments there where it just sort of died down and it wasn't raking all that well, but all I done was just sort of give it a bit more throttle, and that done the job no bother. But yeah, a few soft spot there, and there was a soft spot somewhere up there which I had to veer around for the baler, which is it's a handy thing with the rake, that when you're mowing and you stumble into a soft spot, the chance of the baler going through that baling it is non-existent. You're going to get stuck. But yeah, I tried to get as much out with the rake of the soft spot as possible and onto solid ground. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's not just grass in this. There's a lot of other stuff like dock leaves and other species of weeds that you don't really want in your silage, but it's there anyways. It wasn't sprayed or spot sprayed or weed licked, it seems. So, but look, some rushes there as well that were topped. Either topped or they were cut with the mower, so you could have a bit of rushes in here as well. I don't know what these silage bales are going to be like, because the camera probably isn't picking it up. It's not just grass in there. You have weeds and rushes and docks and a lot of it mixed in together, which is not ideal, but it probably probably will do. So I have this field rake now. This is for a farmer that we're doing the silage for. I have one more field to rake, but I have to go somewhere before I do that. It's now 1:10, we'll say, by the time I started setting up the camera. We probably finished it around 1:05, 1 o'clock-ish, around that we finished up at. But whole field is raked, as you can see, looking very nice indeed. But it's that hill there that I started dying down on. But we got it, a bit more throttle, a bit more power to it. Solved that was the solution. But anyways, a lot of plastic bits in it as well, actually. I'm seeing stuck in the ground. Actually, before I turn off the camera, we can get a nice good sward of grass, nice thick crop with very little other weeds in it. We'll show you what it's like. I can instantly feel, or maybe it's different down here, because the first time I tested the grass, it was up above there. But down here, it seems like when I was raking it, that the impact of the fingers when it was raking up the grass did beat out some of the water, or the water that was in it, that was lying in it. So it did whack out some of the water and dried it up a small bit. So it should be, other than the rushes, the weeds and whatever else that shouldn't be mixed into it, that is mixed into it, it should make somewhat good quality silage. Not too much moisture or water in it, but there's enough in it to make the silage and all that. It's not going to be haylage, it's definitely still going to be silage. But yeah, anyways, I'll put the camera down again, away, fold up the rake, and I'll have to rake the next fields this evening when I come back. So I guess we'll see you until then. Alright, so I'm in the second field raking. This field, the silage that comes off this field is going to be for our old contractor. So there's a nice bit of crop in it, nice bit of grass, and she's raking somewhat nicely. It does struggle in patches where the grass is the heaviest. It does die down on revs and speed, and I do have to adjust it. But you know, if it was the 398 would have that little bit more oomph, more power to it. But this is still doing the job, and this field has a hill, so that's also going to kill it quite bad. But we're tipping it on nicely. She's raking nicely, she's doing a grand old job. This is the field that the brother is going to be baling tomorrow. The field I raked first, that's the field he'll be baling this evening. So this will be all raked up and ready for him either tomorrow or Saturday to bale it, weather dependent of course. But obviously, as I mentioned, this field is for our old contractor. The bales is his, so it's a bit of a long draw from this field to the old contractor's farmyard. So last year, when I made a video when we were in this field raking and baling, it was a long draw. So the old contractor had his usual setup as in the 6280 double bed handler and front loader. I had the 398 and the 7-foot tractor tipping trailer with the sides taken off, and we were using that as a silage trailer and putting 5 bales on that trailer, 4 on the bottom and 1 bale on top. And I don't know if the old contractor was bringing 2 or if he was bringing 3 bales at a time. So we could have been running anywhere between 7 or 8 bales per run. So he'd follow me around the field and load up the trailer, and then I'd be heading off, tipping along nicely, and then he'd be taking his load of bales, putting the bales on the bale handler and following me back. And then when we were back at the farmyard, he'd take his bales off first and stack them and whatnot, and then he'd come back and unload the trailer. But it was a long draw, going down narrow back roads. So I think it was about a 5 or 7 minute tractor drive from the field to the farmyard itself. And we were running either 7 or 8 bales per run, which is not too bad when you're doing a long run. This year now I don't know what the story is, because obviously I have my 2 fields raked. The brother will be baling the first field, I'll have the single bed handler on the 398 and I'll be helping the old contractors draw the bales for that farmer, because that first field is a contracting job. So I'll be helping draw the bales there. But when it comes to this field, whenever we come to bale it, I know what we're going to be doing. I'll be on the 398 and the single bed handler, or we'll have the same setup as we had last year. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we'll soon find out either tomorrow or Saturday. So you can instantly tell the lack of power this yoke has compared to the 398 when you go into a section of grass or a swathe of grass that has a good yield in it, a good thick crop of grass in it. The reds start to die down quite a lot compared to what would be on the 398. I'm not saying the 398 would lose a bit of power going into a thick bit of grass, it would, but not as much as this yoke. Not as much as this yoke. But anyways, I'll put down I'll set up the camera somewhere on the tractor and I'll get a short time lapse of the rake head from an internal view when I finish this live. So yeah. And it's the next day. The brother baled this field that you're looking at last night. I'm in the 398 single bale handler, and the field is quite soft. Yeah, it's made a lot of rain last night and this morning. It's now 20 to 4. It's supposed to clear up today, and I don't know, that field has gone awful soft, guttery. But it's me, our old contractor, and our New Holland neighbouring farmer. The farmer that's the neighbour of our old contractor is with us as well. He's in his... Is that gone into gear? Yeah, he's in his... He's in his New Holland. The old contractor's in the 6280. Usual setup, running 3 bales at a time. The New Holland neighbouring farmer is in his I think it's a T5 or a T6. He has a front loader on as well, so it's making the tractor look bigger than what it actually is. But I think it's a T6. And he has a silage trailer, an actual silage trailer with him. He has an actual silage trailer with him, and he can carry 8 bales at a time on the silage trailer. So he's carrying 8, the old contractor is carrying 3, and I'm carrying 1. So that's 12 bales per run, which is not too bad. And as you can see, there's a couple of bales there. So I don't know how much footage of drawn I'm going to get, because we still have our old contractor's silage field to do yet as well, and that's also going to be a long draw. So I don't know what the situation is going to be with his field, or what type of setup, or what machinery or what tractors we're going to have, and how we're going to draw them. We might have our old contractor's neighbour and New Holland farmer with us, with his silage trailer. Basically the setup we have now for the long draw. I don't know what type of setup we're going to have, but yeah, we'll see. Now I have to head out onto the road, so I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to head to this farmer's farmyard, and obviously I'm going to unload the bale. So we'll take it from wherever we get to. Right, so we're at the farmyard to take off, unload this bale. It is a tight old farmyard itself, but we're managing. And there we go. So I don't know what the story is with this evening, whether we're going to be baling the old contractor's field or not, or if it's going to be baled tomorrow, which is the Saturday, which is promised a way better day, because the grass got a lot of rain today, so it's going to be quite wet, unless we waffle it this evening and let it dry out then. Once we finish drawing the bales, we'll put his grass this evening and let the grass dry out and bale it sorted tomorrow, because tomorrow's promised a good day. Because by God, the amount of rain it made last night, this morning, and about this afternoon as well. I mean, what time is it now? It's 10 to 4, and the sky hasn't really been clearing up too much. It probably will dry up, but you see, I don't know. And again, I'm heading out onto the road, so I have to put the camera away. Okay, so I called the brother, and he says he's not going to bale in the old contractor's field today. We're going to, once we have all these bales drawn in, we're going to strip the woofler on this yoke, the 398, and we're going to give it a woofle, and then we're going to either bale in it tomorrow, Saturday, tomorrow is Saturday, or he said Sunday, but obviously I don't really want to be working on Sunday if I possibly can at all. So yeah, that field isn't going to be baled today, so I'm going to stick to drawing these bales, and we'll be woofling that field this evening and baling it tomorrow. So I don't know what this video is going to be. We'll see. We'll see how this video turns out. It might be 2 separate videos, but we'll see. Anyways, as usual, I'm going out on the road and I have to put the camera away. Okay, so I counted the bales. There's 2 bales over there and there's a couple there. In total there's 11 bales. So if I bring one, the New Holland man brings his 8. That means our old contractor, there's 2 left for our old contractor. He doesn't have to put one on the front loader. He can put the 2 on the double bale hander on the back, and that's him sorted, and that's all the bales drawn. So this will be my last my last bale to be drawn. I'm trying to get this one up along the ditch. There we go. Right, so that's my last bale. I don't have to draw anymore. The rest can be taken from our New Holland man and our old contractor. So once I drop this bale off, I can head back to our old contractor's farmyard, put the woofler on for the brother, and he can go woofling our old contractor's silage fields and get that woofled, and hopefully it will dry out grand to go baling. So yeah, back at it. And we are back on the silage grind again. It's we're doing the old contractor's field now. The brother woofled it there. We're working on a Sunday, unfortunately, because Friday we got heavy rain. The grass got wet. We were supposed to bale this on a Friday or a Saturday. Couldn't, because Friday made an awful amount of rain. So we let it dry out for the top half of the grass. We let it dry out a couple of hours Saturday, and then the brother then woofled it and let it dry out, and now it is Sunday. It's also a smasher of a day. It's 21 degrees, so windows and doors are opened for as much air conditioning as possible, and the first bale is being made. And also I forgot to bring a charger for the camera, and it's low on battery, so I don't know how much content I'm going to get today, but I could run back home and get extra batteries and chargers and stuff, so we'll see. But it is a long draw from our old contractor's field, which is this one, to his farmyard. Is about a 3 to 5 minute drive, and that's not milling it down the road, that's sort of a nice steady pace. So yeah, once the first bale gets made, I'll be back. Single bale handler, and obviously our old contractor has his usual setup, and whether we'll have any help today, not 100% sure, because it is a Sunday. So yeah, put the camera down again and we'll get a lock of bales drawn in. Okay, so slight change of plan. I have now taken the bale handler off the 398 and I have the woofler on it, because we got a phone call there. This farmer wanted his grass woofled because he might be baling it in the next day or two. So obviously it's a nice grand day today, about 21-22 degrees. So the top of the grass is dry. We want to turn it over and get the grass that's lying on the ground turned over and facing upwards, so that the sun can wilt that and dry it a bit more. But yeah, the drawn business now has been landed down to our old contractor, of course, but our New Holland neighbouring farmer is going to bring in the 7-foot tipper trailer, and the old contractor will load that trailer, the 5 bales, like what I was doing last year, and the old contractor will probably bring 3 himself, so they'll be bringing 7 or 8 bales per run. Because it is a long distance draw, as I mentioned, on narrow back roads, bumpy, you get the guts shaking out, yeah, if you go flat to the mat, so you kind of have to take it nice and steady. But it's about a 3 or 5 minute drive, as I mentioned, from the actual field to the farmyard. So I think that might be a way quicker way of doing it. Some people might disagree with that, I don't know, but they're doing the trailer technique like we done last time, and I'm here woofling this grass for this man. So there's a few short swarts here that I'll just do, and I'll set the camera up maybe on a gate post or something and do a time lapse, and we'll see how we get on. Hopefully the woofling goes well. The only thing with this tractor now is the PTO is giving bother. You need to get a new pact for it, so I'll have to probably put it into low third and give it plenty of revs, because the PTO will start dying down. The tractor itself, the engine probably won't die down, but the PTO will die down. So I was told by our old contractor to give it plenty of revs. So I don't want to be going obviously too fast. So I think low third might be suffice, and give it plenty of revs and keep the PTO spinning. So I get these few short swarts done, and then we'll get a time lapse. And I don't know what the situation is then. I could put the bale handler back on this tractor again and do a bit of drawing if they're still at it, but by the time I finish this field they could be finished drawing. So we'll see. It's a very interesting video, this, jumping and from different jobs to another, but anyways, yeah, I'll get started. Okay, so I have it all woofled, it's all finished. I went out, I cleaned the grass off any excess grass that was on the woofler. I cleaned it off. Had a quick look at the silage, or not silage, the grass, which will be silage eventually I guess, and it's nice and dry. I'd say that would be more haylage than silage if anything else. So yeah, and the tractor, the PTO on the 398 kept going. I tried it in low third with a very high rev, but that seemed a bit too fast, so I dropped it down to low second with a very high rev, and that seemed to have done the job nicely. Everything is muffled. So yeah, head back to the yard and see what the story is with the baling. Is it finished or is it not finished, and with the drawn, and what the situation is with that. So yeah,